Okay, we just exported our lower thirds for Natasha and Ryan, which means we're ready to move on to the After Effects camera and talk a little bit about 2.5D. So first thing I'm going to do is come to my comps, press Command N, new comp, and call it Remedy Logo Comp, because this is what we're going to be working in. And I'm going to make this maybe 10 seconds. I'm going to make my background black for this one because I want to work around the black. I'm going to say okay. So the exercise that we did in class was to show you guys the capabilities of how the camera and how the relationship between layers and essentially X, Y, Z accesses work. So I'm going to do that one more time because I really want you guys to kind of understand it. When you create a text, like I'm just going to create this text, which is show. And I'm going to edit it. I'm going to make this white. I'm going to make this stroke black, just add a point. I'm going to make this kind of a big text here. And I'm going to make it just regular bold. Cool. There it is. Show right smack in the middle. If I come over to the position, you'll see that we only have X and Y. Position, this goes left and right on the X, and on the Y it goes up and down. And let me just go ahead and reset that. So that's how X and Y work. And I want to show you the difference when we get a Z. I'm going to create 3 layers like I did in class to show the relationship that's going to happen to them when I have a camera. So all I'm going to do is duplicate them. I'm going to press Command D and it will get duplicated. I'm going to copy up here and I'm going to type in remedy in all caps. Just put them right on top of each other. And one more, come up here and rename it the, let me make sure I didn't have an extra T there. Cool. Cool. I got the remedy show. They all have these texts on top of them, and they're all, let's make them fit in my camera. Let's make sure my hand tool makes this more middle. Cool. Okay, so I'm going to come over here and I'm going to toggle on 3D layer. This allows the layer or layers to be manipulated in 3 dimensions. So the moment I turn this on, and you'll kind of see that under position, these new zeros have appeared, right? Before we had the X and the Y, now we have the Z axis. So I'm going to keep turning them on for all of them. I'm going to collapse these arrows just so I can do this really quick. 2, 3. So now all of these are going to work in a 3D dimension. These tools up here have been active, and I break those down in your slide deck, what they do, but we'll also see them in action. And now, in order for us to generate some movements on them and to really see them in a cool way, we're going to come to this empty space. We're going to hit Control, New, Camera. And I'm going to call it, the text. Let's just call it Remedy Cam for now. You can keep all of this there. Okay, it's going to come on the top. Turn that off. So what we want to do is we want to see the relationship that's now been created with this new Z axis. Now you'll see that your anchor point kind of looks like this. And you'll see that this is X, this is Y, and this is Z. And it's hard. X, Y, but the 3D relationship is what makes Z. So we did this exercise to see it. Let's put the Z point in other directions to kind of see the relationship with each other. So we're going to keep this one at 0. We're going to turn this one at a 200 x-axis, and we'll put this one at 800 x-axis. Can't see anything now. You can't tell until you move your camera. So we're going to start moving our camera with different ways. We can orbit around it. We can, just like a camera can, we can pan, and we can dolly. So for now, let's just do a quick orbit. There it is. By changing these z-axis, so we left the at 0, we put remedy at 200 z-axis, and we put show at 800 z-axis. We now see that we've created 3-dimension space between them. And by orbiting, we can do a full 360 around it and see the different angles we can take it on, which is actually pretty cool. The remedy show. Let's keep it right where it was before. We can also pan our camera. Pan to the left, pan to the right, and we have other options that we can do, right? Like that. Boo, boo, boo. All this. So this is kind of to show you what's possible. We can also zoom in and this text kind of come in at us. I'm getting some pushback here with my mouse. Let's just keep going as much as we can. Let's go back to my pan tool, kind of pan a little bit, go back here, dolly out, dolly in, there we go. And dolly out. This is how words fly at you like in trailers. So I'm going to add one of my backgrounds to the bottom here. I'm going to add this healthy one. I'm going to press S for scale, and I'm just going to scale it down, kind of get it right there where I want it to be. And if I want, I can actually animate on my camera the Remedy Show kind of coming in as it is. So let's go on over to transform. What we're going to change is a couple things, but we're going to really focus on the point of interest and position. So let's toggle on these keyframes and let's start moving our camera. So I'm going to dolly in, and notice that when I do that, all of this is going to change with it. I'm going to dolly in. There we go. Okay, let's get it off camera. And let's say by 3 seconds, we'll start seeing that, the Remedy Show. But what I also need to see is I need to see a relationship difference with the orbit. So I'm going to put this down, and I'm probably going to pan this over here and start changing that relationship. And then by the end of 6, notice how when I changed that, by the way, I created keyframes, just like normal, just like with your text having animations on them. Anytime you move your position indicator and I come up here and I move my camera, a keyframe will be made with it. And awesome. So I am actually going to change up here the original position of my text. So I am going to probably just move it slightly up here. And I also want to change the position of show. I could come over here because I think it's too far underneath. So I'm going to move it right there. So now I can watch this. The Remedy Show. Now if I come back over here, I could probably make adjustments that look a little bit better to my eye. For instance, maybe around here, maybe somewhere like this, and maybe like that. And then by the time it gets here, I'll be happier with it. Like that. There we go. Cool. No, I think I like that there. All right. So this text comes in and says, "The Remedy Show," kind of very epically. And I want to make sure, as always, that I go to my keyframe assistant and I ease these in so this movement is a lot more flowy. Oh, look at that. Now, I'm actually going to probably put this somewhere in between. Now, see, when it does that, I'm not really a big fan of it. So I'm going to make that move faster. And I'm going to put this over here. And I'm going to go to this middle keyframe, probably go somewhere over here, and go to my graph editor and maybe switch up these speeds over here. I'm going to make sure that I am on my speed graph and kind of change this so that it can go a little bit faster over here. There we go. Maybe I can ease that out a bit, make that a little faster. So the Remedy Show, boing. Maybe I don't like that so much. Let's try that. Very interesting movement I have. Gotta obviously tweak it, but this is just to show you guys. Ooh, cool. Okay, let's say I like that for now. It's fine. So I have this animation. Now I have it on the side, which means I want my mortar to be there. So if I like the animation, all I gotta do now is really add my mortar right here. I want it to be above my healthy background, because if it was below my healthy background, which is this, then I wouldn't be able to see it. Remember, it's a hierarchy of command. So I'm going to change the scale down to something pretty doable. I'm going to look at it in relationship with the other guys. I'm going to go to the position and I'm going to kind of move it over here. And maybe I'll come and make the scale a little bit bigger. Go back to position. Boop, boop, boop. Move it up there. And probably now go kind of like that. And so maybe they'll all move like that. And if I just turn this on, right, it's going to attach itself to the camera. It's all going to work together. And I definitely think I need to rescale. Ooh, sorry. Redo some of this stuff and put it like that. So now it works as one. And if I want, I can even put an effect on it. I could come down to my effects and my presets. I could type in one of my absolute favorite ones, which is wiggle. And I could put a wiggle loop on my mortar. And now my mortar, when it comes in and zooms in, it's like moving, right? It's like, it's jigging. It's like, wee, it's having a good time. So this is how the camera works. When you have a camera in play, they all work together. They're all kind of, this camera is looking at everything that's added to the 3D. If you wanted the camera to move separately, you would have to make this a different comp. So for instance, this would have to all become a comp by right-clicking and pre-composing, and then you would call it text cam, and it would be there as its own composition. Let's do that one more time. Right-click, no emojis. Right-click, pre-compose, text cam. Now my mortar, I'm going to turn off the 3D. Right now it's just wiggling all by itself there. If I want, I can put my new camera here and call it logo cam and put it right over here. And now I can add 3D to this. And while this is going, maybe I did want to make this a little bit bigger and change the position of it a little bit. If I come over here and I look at these transform properties and change the point of interest to be maybe a little bit more here. And now I will add keyframes, bringing my position indicator to the beginning, toggle those on, and I'm gonna dolly kind of out so that it's gonna like zoom in. It's gonna do the opposite of the other text. So I'll move my position indicator here and I'll reset it. And now it's kind of slowly jigging and zooming in. Cool. That's how you can animate using a camera and then pre-composing your text with one camera to add a camera that you want to work separately on your logo. That is how you do all of that in After Effects. Reach out with any questions or concerns, and thank you for watching.